Good evening, race fans, and welcome to the show. Tonight, we have a good one here. It is Throwback Night for Southern National Speedway for race number 9 of the Race 1 Wraps Street Stock Series here with the American Sim Racing Club. I'm Brett the Jet in the booth with Turn 3 Racing Network, and I have the co-host. The Boosted Brothers are back together. Carson, how we doing here tonight?
Good, Brett. I'm excited for this race here tonight, Southern National, 4/10 of a mile track, 100 laps. It's good to be back in the booth with you.
Yeah, it's great to have you here, Carson. And with these throwback schemes, we got to take a look at one in particular because here in the league, they put up a little poll, a little bit of fun action here. And I believe it's this 48 machine throwing it back to, I forget now the driver, but you see it up on screen, the 66, of course, Skull Bandit machine. And I tell you what, that's a sweet looking ride here for 100 laps tonight. With practice wrapping up here, it looks like at the top of the timing chain, Jimmy Gowker walking away with the quick time, Andrew Payne second, and then Riley Duncan rounding out the top three. So Duncan making his first start here in the street stocks, has ran the last couple weeks with the late model stocks. Now going to try the street stock side of things. We'll see how that works out, but so far pretty quick in that 97 machine. But big round of applause. Jimmy Gowker once again finding some speed here in practice. He will be one to watch here in qualifying because that's what time it is. Just like always here in qualifying, taking 2 laps here in total. We'll take your best lap of the 2. And then after that, we have a 12 car invert. So quick time will start 12th. And the 12th place qualifier will start on the pole for this 100-lap main event here tonight. So it's going to be a lot of fun here to watch as we're waiting a little bit on the 48 to get rolling. So we'll take a look at another throwback scheme. Here is Andrew Hardings in the number 45 machine. Harding's at the moment 6th quick here. We'll see if he can pick up some time on lap number 2. Zach Nichols quickly putting in time right to the top in the 44 machine. So Nichols at the moment is the quick time. Now we'll take a look at the 48 machine during the golden hour here at Southern National. Great time for some pictures here. Great time to watch some cars on track. Hopefully that sun isn't too blinding down the front stretch because here with iRacing last build working on those shaders and shadows. So might be something these drivers have to keep in the back of their mind. But right now, Zach Nichols quick time, Riley Duncan second. Then it's Nathan Rue rounding out the top 3. Tim Rogers first lap, very good. 15.17 for the 48. That'll put him P number 5. Here coming off of turn number 4 for the final time here in qualifying for the 48. Does not go faster. He will put down a 15.41 for his second lap. Now we take a look, another throwback, this one to Mark Martin. This is Jimmy Gowker, was quickest in practice. Can he back it up here? First lap, Pete number 3 for the 02 of Gowker. We'll see if Gowker can get that speed, but it looks like best laps for most people are on the first lap. So it looks like Gowker second lap just off of 15.16. So Jimmy Gowker will slot into P number 3. And man, oh man, Carson, another Zach Nichols pole.
Who would have guessed, Brett?
Yeah, I know, right? Who would have thought that would come to fruition at the end of this one? But Zach Nichols keeping that streak alive. And I tell you what, I think we're now up to like three weeks maybe in a row.
Yeah, I knew he's dominating them when I was last broadcasting here with you, but I don't know how it's been these last couple weeks, Brett.
Yeah, definitely hasn't lost any speed since then. So Zach Nichols, our pole sitter here for race, I should say quick time here in race number 9 of the season. Now we'll get a little 1 minute warm up, get these drivers all squared away, get them ready to rock and roll. We'll see if Zach Nichols makes an appearance out on track, because he's another driver that has, of course, a great throwback out here tonight, as drivers making their way to the track that will close here very quickly. And Carson, a lot of names in here tonight. Who do you got here for this 100-lapper?
Yeah, Brett, some new names I don't recognize from when I was last year broadcasting with you. I think I'm going to go with Nathan Rue. You shouted him out. He looks like put down the 4th quickest time with a 15.129. So I'm going to go with a new guy here in the league and pick Nathan Rue here tonight.
A solid choice for sure, Carson. I like the pick. For myself, man, it's going to be a toss-up, but I think Jimmy Gauker picks up his first win of the season here tonight at Southern National. He's pretty good at this track, and I'm feeling good about Gauker here.
Yeah, Brett.
Oh, go ahead, Carson.
I was going to say, yeah, Brett. He's shown speed here in the league earlier in the season. I don't know how the last couple results have been, but I think he's due for a win.
Yeah, that he is, as we got drivers on the grid ready to rock and roll. And here we go for tonight's starting lineup. On the pole in the 78 machine, throwing it back to, I believe, definitely last night was to his mom's car. I don't know if tonight is or a different rendition, but always a sweet scheme. It is JJ McCrae leading the field to green. Diz outside starting P number 2, outside on the front row. How about this, Carson? Braden Cook starting on the front row. That's awesome to see. Then we head back to row number 2. Rolling off third will be the 93 of Andrew Payne. Starting P number 4, that is the 18. That is Devin McDonald. Then to round out the top 5 here tonight will be the 88 of Chuck Darling.
Then to pick up from there, we were talking about him earlier, Brett. It's a 48 car of Tim Rogers starting 6th. And I looked at the scheme because you're asking about it. It's a Phil Parsons skull car, so that's a scheme he's running here tonight. Starting 7th to the inside next row is the 35 of Hayden Swank. His outside starting 8th, is the 004 of Chris Horan. Starting 9th is my pick, Nathan Rue, in the 012, and then to round out the top 10, it's your pick, 02, Jimmy Gauker.
Picking up from there, rolling off P number 11 will be Riley Duncan. 12th is Zach Nichols. Then we head to 13th. It's Dylan Winters. 14th, Jeff Dillon. Jaden Kratachi would be 15th, but he starts dead last.
Yeah, Brett, last week's winner. I did see that on the stat sheet. So to pick up from there, starting 16th, on the outside, it's the 38 of Dave Payne. Next row inside, starting 17th is the 13 car of Zach Coyer. Starting 18th is the 41 of Caleb Ramsey, and we're starting the race already. 19th is Daryl Dillon, and then to round out your top 20 is the 45 of Andrew Hardings.
Yeah, that's what we'll get to here as we are green flag racing here at Southern National. Side-by-side battle for the race lead down the backstretch and all the way back to the stripe as JJ McCrae leads lap number 1. Braden Cook trying to hang strong, and there's Andrew Payne waiting right there in third.
Boy, Brett, Tanner still hasn't given you an extra lap to run through the grid. We had the same problem last time I was in the booth.
I guess so. I guess he's not used to us in the booth here, but we'll get it right one of these weeks. Carson has now battled for second. Andrew Payne to the inside of Cook, and then further on back, some 2x2 battles right around the cusp of the top 10, but then quickly single filed on out further behind these guys here.
Yeah, good battle, though, with Dave Payne and Caleb Ramsey to his inside here for 17th and 18th, it looks like.
Yeah, that it is, as we'll go back to that as, yeah, they are in a good battle right behind them. Mike McCaskill in a throwback scheme on his car as well. So I'm digging it, Carson. I think half the field has a throwback scheme here tonight, which is awesome to see.
Yeah, Brad, I had to go to the post to see the snapshots people out of their cars because with my trading paints, I can't see. So it's a bummer for me. You're gonna have to let the fans know what they are because I can't see it.
All right, we'll do then. Braden Cook continuing to get shuffled in the wrong direction here. Now to his inside, your pick, Carson. Nathan Rue up trying to get to P number 4. Rue will rip the bottom side very nicely there. We'll have a half a car length advantage now off of turn number 2. Should be able to slam the door on the 38 machine, as I think Cook got the wall a little bit there. Now Hayden Swank will fill in the gap here, and I think Braden Cook's on the wrong side of the freight train. Looking a little bit further back here, Zach Coyer running another throwback scheme here. He's trying to get around first-time starter Dylan Winters in the 14 to his outside. Winters the 008 in the time and scoring, but the 14 on the car there, that white and purple machine. So Zach Coyer, like he's mentioned before, you know, doesn't have the qualifying that he would like, has to start deep in the field, but starts, you know, clawing his way back up the standings, trying to do that there as they almost make contact there into one, as these guys racing very well for the start of this race. I mean, first 12 laps, I haven't seen any big incident, Carson.
No, Brad, they're keeping it pretty clean. The side-by-side race, and these guys aren't really leaning on each other. They're giving each other gaps, so this is good so far.
Yeah, that it is. Looking further on back here, Jaden Kratachi on the back end of the snake pretty much has 19 cars in front of him. Kratachi only up to 20th in these first 14 laps, has only got around 4 cars and has a long line of them, like I said, in front of him. I mean, we'll try and zoom out as far as we can, folks, but it is just a single file train going around the speedway for the most part, with a few cars up on the top side. Braden Cook has been able to jump down to the bottom side, able to rip that white paint here all the way back though in P number 7. Only real side-by-side battle is Dylan Winters. Oh, as Winters gets put in the fence there down the backstretch. Winters gonna sail it in there into turn number 1, get to the inside of Coyer. Man, that was a send to get back to the inside, but had the momentum with the crossover. Can he make that inside lane stick? No, he cannot. So Coyer will take over P number 14 here and try and set his sights on Jeff Dillon. Dillon, of course, throwing his car back. He's throwing it back to a Jimmy Spencer Crisco machine.
Mr. Excitement, does he drive like him, Brett?
He's a little bit more calm than old Jimmy Spencer, I'll tell you that much. But he's a quiet but sneaky driver. You know, he'll make his way up into the top 10 before you know it, and then have a decent finish here. As we see Hayden Swank trying to get around Chris Horton for P number 5. A nice crossover move down the backstretch from the 35 machine. Oh man, Swank big time sideways through 1 and 2. He was dirt tracking that thing big time, Carson, able to hang on to it, but will lose the advantage of the inside lane. Swank just lucky to walk away from that one.
Yeah, that was a heck of a save, Brett. Could end a lot worse for him. He could have been ending his night early.
Yeah, that he could have been. I tell you what, Hayden Swank, seems like every season is part of a save of the season, let's say, and that one could maybe be added to the list here as we see the Skull Bandit machine up on the top side, and we got our first yellow, Carson.
Stop the count.
Yeah, Dylan Winters just got turned.
Alrighty, we'll take a look on the turn 3 replay here, see what happened to the 14 machine. But we will take a look here right now and see what happened. I assume it's off of turn number 2, Carson?
Yeah, between 1 and 2.
All right, we take a look here. Winters under fire from Daryl Dillon. It looks like, yeah, like you said, Dillon just drives it in there, gets into the left rear of the 14. He goes around right in front of our shotgun driver of Jaden Kratachi, and luckily no one else involved in that one. So with that, still all 24 cars are on the lead lap and out on track. So 24 cars took the green flag, 24 are still out on track.
Yeah, Brett, it's been pretty tame except for that incident we just saw right there with Dylan.
Yeah, it has been a good one here, and I'm going to go adjust some sound settings here in the background. So real quick, we'll of course mention our partner here with the Street Stock Series, that of course being Race 1 Wraps here tonight. So be sure to check them out if you guys get a chance, because they do some awesome stuff for a lot of the time here, as they have a lot of awesome products to provide, such as wraps, t-shirts, fan appreciation signs, and whatever else you could think of, maybe some graphic design. But here we go, already back to green. Carson, JJ McCrae chooses the inside lane, 2x2. Here we go.
And no claim, bro.
Green flag, green flag.
Oh man, so that's going to go to post-race review as we go back. Green flag racing side by side for the race lead. These two will drag race off the turn number 2 here. Andrew Payne with the nose advantage.
There goes the Skull Bandit.
Stop the count.
As they are still spinning here in turns 3 and 4. It looks like they will get rocking and rolling here for the most part. But yeah, Carson, I think that started with the old Skull machine here down the backstretch.
Yeah, cautions are breeding cautions, Brad, as we see back-to-back people getting punted.
Yeah, it looks like 3 wide racing just gone wrong there. Tim Rogers, the meat in the sandwich. Deb McDonald trying to roll on up and just tags the 48 in the left rear. And if I know, though, between those two, you know, they don't have the kindest feelings for each other.
Yeah, we've seen both those drivers bounce off guys here this season.
Yeah, that we have, and at least with each other as well. I know from previous incidents and whatnot. So with that yellow timing out when it did, Carson, Andrew Payne sneaks away with the race lead here. So Payne will have lane choice on this second restart of the night.
And that's a tough driver to beat, Brett.
Yeah, that it is. Andrew Payne picking up, I believe, a win in the late model stocks. Has not won yet in the street stocks. Looking to do it here for the first time this season tonight, as through 3 and 4 the field will come. Andrew Payne on the loud pedal. We go back to green flag race, and Payne will get away by himself out front.
Yeah, Andrew Payne won the Irwindale Inner Streets or late model race. Excuse me, race number 8.
That is right. That is right, Carson. Now side by side for the second position in your pick, Carson. They door slam down the front stretch. Some hard racing already, Carson. Did we kind of expect this early? You know, those first laps started off so calm. Now we see already the aggression starting to turn up. Do you think I think it might be because people realized it's tougher to pass than they think. So while they got cars 2x2, cars stuck to the high side, they figure they got to get as much as they can get.
Yeah, Brett, I'm surprised to see this level of aggression this early, but I don't know. It doesn't seem to be slowing down.
No, it does not, as Hayden Swank that time, big time moment off of turn number 4. Little loose that time there off of 2. He's struggling with putting the traction down on corner exit. That's allowing Chuck Darling to almost try and get back by the 35 machine as they'll lean on each other into turn number 1. Jimmy Gauker almost pulls the big time evasive maneuver, was about to abort that whole corner there with what he was seeing going into turn number 1.
Hayden's got big trouble with that car. They're bouncing off each other back there, Brad.
Oh boy, 3 wide here. Gauker up top. He gets shoved out of the way here. Swank will have an open lane to the top side, but Chris Horton wasting no time to try and get to the front. And Carson, that opens up the door now for our quick time qualifier. Zach Nichols in this 44 machine, trying to get up to P number 6 already.
I think he's the driver with the most 12th place starts this year, Brad. I think you'd agree.
Oh, 100%, as that was where he started most of the season. As Nichols looking for win number 2. The only person that has won twice in the street stocks, Carson, is Ron Hart. Hart having to miss tonight with some work obligations, so opens up the door for a lot of different drivers to pick up their second win of the season. Right behind Nichols here, Gauker gets around Swank. Swank hits him with the crossover though, so this isn't done here. The battle for 7 still rages on as Swank once again very loose off of turn number 4.
Could he have possibly burned off his tires already, Brad?
Yeah, I mean, he could definitely get him hot, and that's what it looks like he's doing. Once you start sliding on entry, trying to get this car to rotate, if you're not careful with that throttle, that thing will keep on stepping out, and every time it steps out, even on entry, and especially once you get on the throttle, it just heats up that tire more and more, and especially with the day and age that iRacing's in, heat will kill your tire, and once you get it hot, you got to cool it down for quite a bit of laps, and here with the close racing of ASRC, you don't have time to, unless you want to give up, 3 to 5 spots in a few laps.
Yeah, Brad, I think he's just hoping for another caution right now.
Yeah, and one other person now right on the back bumper of Swank is Jaden Kratachi, last week's winner, into the top 10 for the first time here tonight. Struggled to pass cars early, but with those 2 restarts right in a row, that has helped him get around cars, and he's making the most of it up into the top 10.
Is it possible to pass on the outside here, Brad?
It is, but it's very difficult, especially in a low horsepower car like these. You have to really, really carry the momentum and then pretty much hope the guy on the inside makes a mistake, whether, gets too loose, hits the apron, or, gets super loose off on corner exit. We head back up to the front here just after the cross flag, so we are into the second half of the race, and Nathan Rue putting a lot of pressure on our race leader, Andrew Payne. Rue is right on the back bumper, and Carson, I say let's ride on board with Rue here, see just how quick these laps are here tonight. Riding on board with our second place driver, looking to the inside of Payne. Doesn't quite get the nose in there. That time Payne gets loose. Here comes Nathan Rue to the lead. Side-by-side battle. Once again, we see Payne getting loose on corner exit. Carson, I think Payne might be having the Hayden Swank issue. I think he's starting to heat up that right rear tire here, and it's going to be a lot harder to defend.
Oh, we got a wreck.
Oh, looks like a lot of parts and pieces here in turns 1 and 2, Carson.
I'm going to have to go back and see how that started. That was very weird.
It looks like it may have started with Hayden Swank.
Hayden Swank.
Yeah, so I believe starting with Hayden Swank. So we're going to take a look here on the turn 3 race and replay. See what happened here in turns 1 and 2. Oh, Jeff Dillon, big time sideways off of turn number 4. Dillon somehow hangs onto that race car. And then going back into turn number 1, Mark Fuqua running the bottom. I don't think Hayden Swank knew he was down there. That turns Swank around, and then everyone else, oh man, Jeff Dillon gets clobbered into by Daryl Dillon. So a tough break for the 52, kind of involved in two things that wasn't really his doing. As Dillon got help from Core, that sent him up the track, and then some more help from Hayden Swank as he drifted up to the second lane. And then going back into turn number 1 here, Hayden Swank gets hit in the left rear by Mark Fuqua. I mean, Fuqua was down on the bottom. I think Swank just didn't realize he was down there.
I just think the guys were expecting a caution. When they didn't get one, they were kind of just scrambling.
Yeah, that could have very well been the case, as well as everyone does a good job at avoiding it. I think only cars to get some more damage from that, maybe Dave Payton, maybe Tim Rogers. I saw him facing the wrong way there late in that yellow. As, oh man, already time to go back green flag race, and Andrew Payne was able to hang on to the lead. Here we go back to green. Payne shot out of a cannon. JJ McCrae's able to sneak his nose to the inside of Nathan Rue. That will be a side-by-side battle for second. Can Rue get the exit speed to get clear? No, he cannot. So Rue not quite able to shut the door on McCrae. Can McCrae keep that rolls inside rolling just enough to keep that nose there? A little bit of contact there at the apex. Everyone's still rolling. Great battle for second place. And Carson, one car that loves to see this, Andrew Payne in the 93, able to start checking out in front.
Yeah, Brett, but the question with him is how well can you manage his tires being out there all alone?
Yeah, I mean, he had the big break, and that is the yellow flag, able to cool those tires off just a little bit. So that definitely helped him. He has to make sure that it doesn't heat him up a second time. And one way to do that, just them battling behind as, oh, quite a few cars slapping the wall down the backstretch. I think the first to get it was Rue in this 12 machine.
And Brad, I was going to say, when you're on board with him, I believe this is his ASRC debut in the street stocks here tonight.
Who would that be?
Rue.
Yes. And I think it's his overall ASRC debut.
Okay. Because I was looking through the records and I didn't see him.
Yep. I think Nathan Rue, first ever start here in the league so far, making a great impression. Currently holding off JJ McCrae for that second position here, as we have a third of this race now left to go.
This race is flying by. Only a couple cautions. This has been pretty good so far.
Oh yeah, and most of these street stock races do fly on by, Carson. It seems like, if anything, these guys need some more laps. But if we add more laps, that's going to mean another set of tires, because even by the end of these races, tires are down to the 40, 30, sometime even teen numbers, depending on how these drivers are driving.
Yeah, you're driving on ice.
Yeah, that it is. Payne not doing that anymore. He's looking pretty solid out in front. Now it's JJ McCrae kind of looking a little loose there. Kind of getting stuck on the bottom here as the outside's starting to build some momentum. So maybe, Carson, the lines are flipping here. Maybe now it's better to try and pinch the car to the inside and keep that momentum as these tires are going away. And that does seem to be the case. McCrae starting to bleed some spots here down on the inside lane. Now battling Zach Nichols for the P4 spot. Chris Horton has it able to get around in that 42 machine. Horton, another throwback here. That's thrown back to the Cannonball funny car machine. So a throwback, Carson, all the way to the drag side of things.
Shout out the NHRA.
Yeah, that it is. As we take a look here, looking at some fan cams here, take a look what it would be like here at Southern National as these cars fly on by and continue to click down laps, and we are almost into the countdown clock already. As still side by side, door number to door number for that P number 4 position. Everyone else, so pretty single filed out. A little bit of side by side battles further on back, but right now it's been a great battle for that 4th position. Now finally all over as Zach Nichols able to squirt on away.
And Brett, we haven't talked about him. We know he's fast, and he's just been steady Eddie picking away at cars.
Yeah, that he has been, but now it is go time. 25 to go. Whatever he has left in the tank for the 44 machine with at least tire saving wise, it's time to use them on up as McRae still stuck to the bottom. Looks like Riley Duncan is able to get by. Now Jimmy Gauker works to the high side of the 78. So the 78 starting to be a little bit of a roll and roadblock for these guys up towards the front, stuck on this inside lane here as the top side has started to come on in as this race has gone deeper into the night. Now it's Chuck Darling trying to get back into the top 5 here. Darling rolling on the high side, MP number 8, now able to get side by side with McRae right in front of them. Gauker drives it in deep, gets to the inside of Duncan. This will be a battle for the 5th position. Then right in front of them, Rue under fire from Horton. So battles all over the speedway here besides for our race lead here with 20 to go.
Do you know if Rue races in real life, Brett? He's having a heck of a debut.
Yeah, I do not. So if he ends up on the podium, we definitely will have to ask him. But right now, he is currently 1 spot out. But like you said, Carson, having a heck of a debut here in the league as Zach Nichols tries to chase down Chris Horton. This will be a battle for second. Can Zach Nichols get the job done here with 18 to go from 12th to the lead? Jaden Kratachi has been able to climb up to 9th, but has hit a wall. That is 2 cars side by side in front of him. Has been that way for quite a bit.
Yeah, he's being the bumper off Horton. Or sorry, McRae. Whoops.
I was going to say the only thing Horton has to worry about is Zach Nichols as Nichols puts Horton into the fence a little bit there down the backstretch. Oh, they make contact again off of turn number 4. Oh, Andrew Payne, big time bobble. That will open up the door for Nichols for the race lead. Andrew Payne, it looked like that right rear was about flat on that car. Yeah, look at Andrew Payne. He's wrecking loose.
What'd I say, Brett?
Yeah, that right rear's going away in a hurry on that 93 machine here with 14 to go. He's just going to try and hang on to whatever he can because that thing is definitely not drivable here.
And that's the thing with Andrew Payne. He's very fast, but he does struggle. He does struggle sometimes with tire saving.
As Payne gets knocked out of the inside groove by Rue, that'll put Rue back into a podium spot. Kratachi in the back of McRae, big time there off of turn number 4.
Yeah, he just keeps banging his bumper down, letting him know. But McRae can't go anywhere.
Yeah, no, he cannot. Now Mark Fuquay able to get to the top side. Fuquay has been making his way on up. Biggest mover of the race so far is that number 6. He's looking for some more, trying to go up 16 spots from where he started.
Yeah, he didn't get a qualifying time in, Brett, after a good practice, so I wonder what happened there.
Yeah, definitely. As, oh man, battle for the race lead here inside of 10 laps to go here. Chris Horton might have a little bit left in the tank. We'll find out here. They go door number to door number here through turns 1 and 2. It's going to be an even drag race down the backstretch. Give the advantage to Nichols with the momentum on the high side. But Horton has the shorter distance to go in the corners. Nichols will get a piece of the wall. Can he do the crossover?
Oh, Andrew Payne with a massive save. Did you see that, bro? Holy smokes. I did not
Who was that?
See that. Andrew Payne.
No, I did not. I'm watching the battle for the race lead. What did it look like, Carson?
Oh, just coming out of 2, he got super loose and got a 30-degree angle. Oh, he did it again.
Yeah.
Hitachi almost spins him.
Yeah, he is definitely wrecking loose out here. Payne's just going to try and have to just hold on to that race car. It's a great battle for the race lead here. Zach Nichols was able to get the crossover. Now Nichols to the inside. Horton up top. They drag race still all around this Southern National Speedway. It's going to be a barn burner to the finish, Carson, because it's 5 laps to go.
Open palms in the air, Brett.
That it is, as here we go. Nichols gets loose off of turn number 2. He has to drive it in there deep, get some position back on the 42. Horton can almost clear, but cannot yet. These guys inches off of each other. Let's ride on board with Horton. See how close Zach Nichols is just getting. It's 3 laps to go here, looking at the battle for the race lead, riding on board with Horton. They touch some more down the backstretch. These guys throwing everything at it, Carson. It's going to be a barn burner. Popsicle sticks up in the air. 2 laps to go.
We're going to have our own Kevin Harvick, Ricky Craven right here.
Yeah, that we are. I think it was also Kurt Busch, but I got it wrong the first time too. As here we go, white flag is out, 1 lap to go. Side by side for the race lead. Does lap traffic come into effect?
Look out, John DeMeester.
Zach Nichols gonna try and use the lap traffic. Horton has to lift just a little bit here off of turn number 4. It's a drag race. It is Zach Nichols. Holy smokes, Carson. Wow. We started off this season with a photo finish involving Zach Nichols. We have race number 9 end it in the exact same way. Wow, what a finish by those guys.
Sound muted.
Yeah, Brad, and good on Zach for not just sticking Horton in the wall there, letting him race it out. He got a little bit of a run there to the line, but Zach was able to hold him off.
And with Zach Nichols in victory lane, before we head to the kind of post-race show, I have to give a quick shout out and throw it up on screen as the timing tower updates there on the left for the finishing orders. This is what Zach Nichols threw back to his first ever race car, a shifter cart that he learned how to drive on. So an awesome throwback for the 44 machine of Zach Nichols, and now brings it down to victory lane here tonight with an incredible finish. Alrighty, so that would do it here. Up next, post-race show. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Alrighty, folks, we are back here at Southern National taking a look at that incredible finish. So here are the leaders going down the backstretch here. As I tell you what, Carson, John DeMeester does an awesome job getting up and out of the way of the leaders to have this finish here tonight. And here they come off of turn number 4. I mean, this is how close it is. Both cars a little bit loose. And there's the margin, just probably half a nose between the two of them. Wow.
Yeah, Brett, 100th of a second.
Yeah, definitely very, very awesome stuff. So we will head back a little bit further, talk to our third place finisher first, and that being the 012 machine. Carson, your pick's Nathan Rue. Nathan, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Yes, sir. I got you.
Alrighty, man. First and foremost, first start, able to finish on the podium. I mean, how was that race and how much fun did you have here tonight?
Oh, man, that was a blast. That was just some good, hard, clean, short track racing. We put this together pretty quick, so didn't know he was going to race tonight. Just happy to be here, and man, that was a lot of fun. A lot of hard, clean racing.
Yeah, that looked like a blast here from in the booth. I mean, some great racing overall. Like you said, hard, clean racing here. And you don't see that too often here at Southern National. This place has a reputation for a lot of crazy moves, let's say, right?
Yeah, it gets real tight with two cars because there's really just one fast lane there. But some of those guys, Christmas guys, making that top work really good. Yeah, I've been out of the street stock car for a while, but man, this thing's fun to drive. And we just stare at the end. Right rear was just too hot. We used it up there, and but Chris was making that top roll, and we just didn't have nothing for him at the end. We tried when they got side by side, but what a phenomenal show they put on. So that was great.
Yeah, that it was. I mean, you had to be maybe hoping for a split second, if anything happened, you could sneak on through, go 1 for 1, maybe something like that.
Yeah, I was trying to cool that right rear off. We just got too aggressive, but I figured, when they were racing hard, I was like, man, we got some lap cars coming into play here. You don't know what's going to happen. So just kind of keep myself in contention and see if we can get lucky instead of good for once. And, I'll take that any day. But they held it together, and man, that was fun to watch from where I was at. So I know everybody else enjoyed it.
Yeah, I bet. So with you coming in here, racing like you did, me and my brother were wondering up here in the booth, what else do you race and kind of what's your forte here on iRacing? Do you race anything in real life as well?
Used to, many years ago. I'm not one of the young guys for sure on here. So my real wood racing days are pretty much done, but I enjoy the sim. I've been on the sim since 2010, here and there. And it's always fun to come in and race and just race different things. The short track stuff I've really enjoyed as of late. It's something we never did before. We run trucks and B car stuff for a lot of years. And, but the short track stuff, something I really enjoy, and I'm kind of getting back to doing what I like doing now. So I had a blast.
Yeah, that's a key I tell people with iRacing. You got to make it fun. There's people that treat it like a job, let's say, and when it becomes not fun, let's say to boot up the computer, it's like, man, what are we doing this for,
Yeah, it really can. And but this seems to be a great series. I'm glad I heard about it. Look forward to running a whole lot more races here. So maybe we can get a wrap on this thing for next week.
Yeah, there you go. A third place finish, should bring some eyes to you. And yeah, hopefully, get a nice wrap on that thing. I mean, if you had to choose anything, what's kind of the general scheme? Are you a big flashy guy or kind of keep it subtle and nice and clean?
I've run it all. I mean, it something clean is more my forte, but hopefully we get a number this week. Like I said, I got in the league right before the race started tonight, so we really throw this thing together quick. And but we're going to try to get it all together and be back next week because that was an absolute blast and some good, hard, clean racing. So very impressed.
Yeah, we're glad to have you here tonight, Nathan, as that was some incredible racing here that you put on with the battles you had for the lead, leading some laps, and to come home third. I mean, that is definitely something awesome.
Yeah, the competition all the way through seemed to be very strong. I mean, a lot of cars out there, everybody's under a blanket. So, but congrats to Chris and Nick or Zach on their finishes. They drove a great race as well. So.
Yeah, that they did. And Nathan, I always like to ask, give a little insight for maybe people watching and other drivers, that sort of thing. I always like to ask, what's your sim setup like these days? What do you got in front of you for wheel pedals? Maybe what are you looking at monitor-wise, VR, all that good stuff?
I've got the old V3 pedals from Fanatec and a Club Sport. I'm still yet to get the direct drive stuff. I'm kind of set in my ways, so I've had this a long time, and I run the ultra wide monitor. So cut down from triples, went to this. I've enjoyed it, so got a deal on it. That's pretty much why I ended up with it.
Wow, you don't hear too many people making the transition from triples to the ultra wide. So, what was the thought process behind that?
um, an extremely good deal I couldn't pass up.
Ah, okay. Yep. That.
Marketplace, $150. They didn't really know what they had, so I was like, yeah, I'll take that.
Oh yeah, yeah. You can't beat a deal like that.
Yeah, it's a space saver too. So, but I have all the angle I need for it, so it works. And maybe this wheel will keep holding on. I've had it many years, and we're gonna keep on going till it don't work no more. So.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, Nathan, congrats again on the podium finish. First ever start here in ASRC. Walk away with this. That is awesome to see. Hopefully, see you some more out on track. But before we let you go here tonight for your first ever podium here, we're going to go hand over the mic to you. Thank who you got to thank, whether that be sponsors, maybe some people tuning into the Turn 3 Racing Network broadcast, or maybe some of those all-important teammates.
Yeah, I'd like to thank E-Wraps. They do a lot of my work. Like I said, we just didn't have time to get on there tonight. Keck Customs, um, Horton Speed. Those guys really have always helped me a lot. So want to thank those guys for everything they do and get their name out there. They got some good wraps. If you don't know Keck Customs and E-Wraps, go check them out.
All righty. Well, awesome stuff, Nathan. It was a pleasure talking to you here tonight. Get to know you a little bit better. Like I've mentioned before, I'll say it again one more time. Hope to see you on back because that was some great racing you were a part of. So you, my man, have a great rest of your night, and we'll see you hopefully in the future again.
Absolutely. Look forward to it. Thanks, guys.
All righty, Carson. That was our third place finisher and your pick, Nathan Rue.
Yeah, how about that debut, Brett? An exceptional debut tonight here for Nathan Rue. I see big things for him in the future if he decides to stick around with this league and even run on late models with ASRC too. And yeah, good for him. And a third place, he wants a wrap. That third place money will probably pay for a new one.
Yeah, that it will. At least the publicity alone, right, Carson?
Yeah, I mean, how much you get paid for third, Brett? It's probably a pretty chunk of change, so he could use that to get the car wrapped for next week.
Yeah, I thought it's 250,000 ASRC bucks.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so they're paying pretty good here in this league.
So is that equivalent to like 25 cents real money?
We won't talk about that on air. We'll talk about it after because it's less than that.
Okay.
Alrighty, so now we'll dial up our second place finisher, and that being the guy that just lost out in the photo finish, Chris Horton. Chris, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Yep. Yes, sir. I got a copy.
Yeah, we got you here. I'm going to go turn you on up just a little bit, make sure we can hear you on the broadcast. But man, how are we feeling? I believe first ever ASRC race, especially in the street stocks, and we end it like that. A photo finish between you and the last season's champion Zach Nichols.
I mean, I wish we just could have got one spot better. I mean, it was a really good race, hard race. I mean, we had a little bit of contact, but it was still really clean and hard racing. Just I gotta thank him for not wrecking me, or he knows what could have happened.
Yeah, because I mean, especially here at Southern National, I mean, we, at least I know, people tend to turn off their brains, right? People always think they got to dive it in there, arc you all the way up to the wall. And, we saw pretty respectful racing. Yeah, a little bit of leaning on each other, but that's the one kind of thing you can do with the street stacks, it seems like it, with the most recent couple builds here on iRacing.
Oh, you can definitely lean on people with this car. It's a whole lot better to lean on each other than the late model on here. I mean, it. I think it's just a way better car overall, but.
Yeah, I think so as well, especially with the close quarter racing that it does allow. But yeah, Chris, taking the lead there at the end of the race, Zach Nichols hit you with the crossover, and then you guys stuck side by side, it felt like, for 10 laps. I mean, what'd you think you needed a little bit different of? And then, of course, that lap traffic almost becoming a bigger factor than it was there at the end as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think I just needed to save a little bit more at the beginning of the race. I didn't really know how this car would do on a 100 lap run. I've never really ran this car that much. I've ran it some on like the official 30 lap races, but overall, I don't really have that much experience in this car.
Yeah, and 100 laps is a long time. I mean, we saw the race leader, Andrew Payne, absolutely light up the right rear and fall through the field like a rock. I mean, I'm sure everyone, including yourself, struggling with that traction on exit with these cars there at the end.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I didn't have that much problem with it. I was kind of more fighting tight than anything, but after we got around, I don't know who his name is. Whoever was leading before me and Zach got up there. After we got around him, the car just started getting a little free, and that's when I was able to, run back down Zach and challenge him for the win.
Yeah, and people even mention, dirty versus clean air, even on short tracks. Do you think it was a little of that?
Well, maybe a little. This car doesn't seem to have it that bad. It seems like you can run behind someone pretty well in this thing, at least better than most of the cars on here. Like, if you take, for example, the late model, you can't run within a half a second behind someone in a late model. So,
Yep, that is definitely the case here. And, Chris, awesome debut here with the Street Stocks. I mean, incredible run photo finish there to just finish second. I mean, what other experience do you have? What other cars do you like racing on iRacing? And do you have some of that real world experience to lean on as well?
yeah, I've raced a late model at Langley. I mean, kind of normally around the late model stuff, but that's pretty much all I do.
Okay, well, is there any way that maybe some fans watching the broadcast could stay up to date for your 2025 plans? Anywhere we could follow you or keep an eye on what you're up to?
There's a Facebook page, CGR Performance, if you want to keep up with us. Or you can watch us on Flow. They got most of our races on there too.
Yeah, that they do. So I'll definitely have to keep an eye out for that Chris Horton name now here in the future, because what I saw in iRacing, very, very impressed with here from tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah, Chris, one other question I love to ask, especially first time that I get to chat with someone here in the interview booth, is what's your sim setup like? What do you got for wheel pedals? What are you looking at? Whether monitors, 3 monitors, VR, all that good stuff.
Yeah, I just got a Logitech wheel and 3 monitors. It ain't nothing special.
Wow, and even the Logitech pedals?
Yep.
Wow, that's pretty impressive, because you mostly hear, especially with load cell pedals, that's for usually the first big upgrade people do. So you're running the full true Logitech setup. That just shows you don't need these high thousands and thousands of dollar setups to run well like you are.
Oh yeah, I think even Tom Majeski runs on a pretty budget friendly setup.
Yep, that he does as well, in a little gaming laptop. I don't know how he does that little screen.
Yeah, I don't know how people do it. I got a buddy. He also does the gaming laptop thing. I don't know how they do it.
Yeah, I feel like you can't even see enough. I mean, I feel like I can just see enough with my triples, and I'm sure you feel the same way. that one little screen. Whew, that's got to be tough in traffic.
Oh, I mean, I think, I mean, it'd be nice if I could see more of my triples, but I I give him all props so he can do it on the little laptop monitor.
Yeah, definitely. So, one other thing I got to mention, special scheme here tonight, throwback night. And we saw you even have a throwback on the car, throwing it back to something. So, real quick, what's that throwing back to, and why'd you choose that scheme?
I've always liked how like 80s drag cars looks. I just kind of threw it back to an old drag car, I think it looks good. I wish I had a little bit more time to do it. I was kind of rushing on this paint, so I did it really, really quick. I was surprised how good it turned out.
Yeah, same with me. I always dig the 80s schemes with all those colors and the color flows. So, hopefully, we get to see a V2 version of that because I'm sure it looked great out there with maybe some sponsors on that car. I'm sure maybe some people want to jump on board with you, especially after seeing the race you had tonight.
No, I just gotta thank my little group of people. We got like 3 guys. We all work together, and we get out there, run all kinds of official stuff or leagues, and I think we build some of the greatest setups out there. So just gotta thank all of our guys just come together, and normally when we work together, we run up front. So just gotta
Uh,
thank all of them.
That's awesome to hear there, Chris. And yeah, with that statement, anyone else you'd like to shout out to, live on the Turn Through Racing Network. So anyone that could be maybe watching in live race replays, any of those teammates that you mentioned, or anyone else you'd like to thank, maybe helping you out as well.
I think E-Raps and Keck Customs. They do some of the greatest paints out there. I mean, if you want to paint, go hit them up.
Alrighty, well, awesome job again, Chris. I mean, a very exciting finish to end that one. You guys side by side for that many laps, coming down to the wire. So once again, want to thank you for being here to put on that show here tonight. Hopefully, we'll see you again in the future. And you, my man, have a great rest of your night. That was incredible to watch.
You too.
Alrighty, Carson, that was our second place finisher, Chris Horton.
Yeah, Brad, a man of few words but much ability behind the wheel. And man, if that was his debut, what a way to do it. That'll go down. That debut for him will go down as one of the closest finishes in ASRC street stock history. Uh, it'll be one that probably won't be forgotten anytime soon. And I think he finished second with his teammate finishing right behind him in third.
Yeah, so a great start for those two if they want to stick on around. Hopefully they do because some awesome racing. But we got to talk to the other guy that might be a little bit more excited here, picking up the win in the photo finish, the 44 machine, Zach Nichols. Zach, how we doing?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Oh, I bet, man. What a incredible battle there those last couple laps. I mean, you and Chris throwing on a show. It felt like for those last at least 15 laps, you hit him with the crossover, and then you guys stay side by side, and then lap traffic there on the last lap, and then still a drag race to the finish.
Yeah, that was for sure probably one of the most fun races I've had in this league, and it was a ton of fun to race against him. He ran me clean. I used him up a little bit and gave him some tire marks down the left side of his car, but yeah, for the most part we raced pretty clean, and luckily we were able to sneak by with just a barely of a nose on him.
Yeah, I mean, we saw you in the photo finish, of course, at Kern County, you and Matt Kemp. Now an even closer one with you and Chris Horton. So, Zach, I got to ask, how do you keep on just beating these people in these photo finishes?
That's a good. I don't know, man. Maybe my transponder is just farther forward in the car, but yeah, I was a little worried there in the beginning start of the beginning end of the race, but because it seemed like everyone was just like driving away from us, but towards the middle part we started to like even out with them, and then a little bit after that they started coming back to us. So I was thinking I was doing something correct, and then all of a sudden we were like in the top 5, and I was astonished. But yeah, I knew Chris and me were gonna be the ones to race there at the end, but yeah, it was a ton of fun.
Yeah, that it seemed like. So I think, yeah, the 44 needs to go to the tech shed after double check that
Oh,
position of the transponder. But yeah, Zach, it seemed like it was very difficult to pass. I mean, at the first stage, it seemed like no one was getting around anyone, everyone in a single file lane. Then we had those 2 quick cautions, and that kind of really jumbled up the field, it seemed like. It seemed like people realized, hey, we got to go once people are on the high side. And then it almost seemed like the high side started to come in there late in the race.
Yeah, for sure. The high side was really dominant there when you're side by side. They could just get a really big run off the corner, and I was on the bottom of Chris there at the end, and I was just hanging on. My rears were pretty much shot. I was just drifting off the corners, but yeah, it was a ton of fun to come out here and race Chris really hard for the win. But it was really fun.
Yeah, and I always like to, especially pick your brain, Zach, a lot of good
Uh-oh.
information in there. So, how do you kind of walk on that tightrope of keeping your car pinched down and not wash up into the car to your high side, but also not light up those rear tires and just watch that car on the high side walk away from you?
I mean, there's not much to it. You gotta act like there's an egg under your throttle pedal, pretty much, and hopefully you don't crack that egg. But yeah, it was a very thin line of trying to keep the car from underneath you on the bottom, really entering and exiting the corner. I had to dang knock my brake bias almost all the way up in the car in the final 15 laps because I was trying to drive it in there really deep to keep him on the outside, and it paid off.
Yeah, and then I got to ask, of course, I'm sure you saw the opportunity going down the backstretch, lap car in front of you, where you're like, hopefully this works out just right that I can just use them as a pick.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we caught Hayden Swink there. Well, I don't know. It was like 10 laps to go, I'm pretty sure, and we ended up splitting him. And then yeah, we caught John DeMeester on the white flag, and I was hoping to just kind of pin him against the wall and use DeMeester as a pick, but luckily DeMeester got out of the way and we raced it out.
Yeah, that you guys did an incredible finish here with some good looking race cars as well. Throwback night and Zach coming out here with a different paint scheme and, maybe a little bit of luck with it.
Oh yeah, for sure. We might keep this one on. Who knows? But yeah, we threw back to my very first ever goat kart, so that was pretty cool to be able to win in it. And yeah, it definitely looks interesting. That's for sure.
Yeah, that it does. Definitely a very cool scheme. I'm gonna go throw up the picture of you in the cart with the
Uh
scheme on
oh. Oh
track.
no.
But I mean, man, that is definitely a pretty good carbon copy of this car.
Yeah, I thought I did a pretty good job on it.
Yeah, that you did. And like you mentioned before, with your driver spotlight and whatnot, you enjoy doing the custom kind of some graphics on cars or whatnot. And I mean, what do you think your favorite car to paint is out of any of the cars on iRacing? Is there one that
Oh,
stands
that's
out?
I'm not too sure. I mean, the NASCAR cars are similar, pretty easy to paint because the templates and whatnot are pretty similar. Yeah, I guess are pretty similar. But the one I hate the most is the dang late model stock. Dude, that thing is like the dang side skirts on that thing are annoying.
Oh yeah, they're never in the right space, and then you line it
Yep.
up, and it's like, nope, it's not actually lined up.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Oh man. Well, Zach, once again, gotta congratulate you for your second win of the season. This puts you in the same company now with Ron Hart, and I mean, with this win here tonight, should help you with the point standings. Have a nice cushion in that in both the street stocks and the overall championship. So now, as we're winding on down, getting close to the end, how are we feeling about those kind of big points and expectations going into these last couple races?
I mean, I feel good. A gap's always nice to have, but that it's never over till it's over. So we're gonna keep our head down and race these last. There's 3 races out, and go from there.
All righty. Well, we look forward to that, Zach, here as an incredible race. Like I said before, my man, it was great to watch. I mean, exciting finish. You can't ask much more than that, especially at Southern, because we know this place, can be very hit or miss, especially on iRacing, with depending on how people drive.
Oh yeah, 100%. I was expecting it to be carnage, but luckily we came out there with I feel like all our heads on straight, and we were able to put on a good show.
Yeah, I don't think too many people walking over to each other's pit stalls at the end of this one, but we'll have to wait see if security starts running over anywhere. But Zach, my man, well, first, actually, before we send you on off, we got to have you thank who you got to thank here down in Victory Lane, of course.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Carney's Complete Auto Service, Corrigan Oil Company, PSS&C. I say it every week, but they help us a ton out in the real life world, and all my teammates for helping me out, and you guys for broadcasting, and all the league admins for putting this whole deal on. It's a ton of fun to come out each week and put on a show.
Alrighty, well, Zach, we appreciate you spending your time here racing with us, being part of the show that we all get to enjoy. So you, my man, partying on up, go celebrate this win here, and we'll be sure to head to the 44 stall here once we wrap up in the booth.
Oh yeah, I would like to shout my dad and my Uncle Kenny out in the chat. If I don't shout them out, I'm gonna get yelled at. So I'd like to shout both of them out, and yeah, we'll see you next week.
Alrighty, good catch there, Zach, to get that. So you have yourself great rest of the night, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you again here in the future.
Yep, we'll see you.
Alrighty, Carson. That was our race winner, Zach Nichols, getting the job done here and picking up his second win of the season.
Yeah, Brett. Deja vu for Zach Nichols going from 12th to 1st again. Seems like that happens a lot with him, but another great run for him. And as long as he can get through the field, starting 12th, and have a pretty clean race, look for him always at the end of these.
Yeah, that is
Doesn't matter
definitely
where he starts.
Yeah, that's definitely the case. And last couple weeks involved in incidents, some by his own doing. He'll be the first to admit that tonight. A pretty much picture perfect execution race from Zach Nichols, and that leads to him picking up checkered flag number 2 of the season. So with that, Carson, let's head over the feature results and start sending people on out of here after that. So Zach Nichols in the 44, thrown back to his first ever race car in the shifter cart, picking up the win here at Southern National for race number 9 of the Race 1 Wrap Street Stock Series. And his first ever, I believe, ASRC start for sure Street Stock. Chris Horton finishes second in one of the closest finishes ever in ASRC. He will finish by 12 thousandths of a second there in second. So Chris Horton in the 004 or the 42 on the car, an awesome run by him. That could also be said for Nathan Rue in the 012. He's making his first ever start, finishing third up on the podium. A great run by him. Riley Duncan, first ever street stock start this season, finishes fourth. And then it's Jimmy Gauker in the 02. Finished 6th last night. Coming in here tonight, Carson finishes 5th. So nice run by everyone in the top 5. And a lot of new names up there, especially in the Street Stock Series.
Yeah, consistency, God, for Jimmy Gauker. 5th and a 6th back-to-back, not bad. To pick up from there, finishing in 6th place was the 88 car of Chuck Darling. In 7th place, the biggest mover tonight was that 6th car of Mark Fuquay from 24th to 7th. Finishing 8th, starting on the pole, dropping 7 spots, though, was a 78 of JJ McCrae. Finishing 9th was last week's winner week in race number 8. Jane Kutachi couldn't defend here tonight. And then to round up your top 10, it's the 41 of Caleb Ramsey.
Picking up from there, finishing in P number 11 will be the 13, that being piloted by Zach Coyer. 12th is Andrew Payne, falling back from the lead with about 20 laps to go. That right rear absolutely gone on that car. He will end up 12th. 13th going to the outside front row pole sitter, Braden Cook in the 038 machine. Jeff Dillon, after some struggles there for that, I believe it was only our second yellow here tonight, Carson, finishes 14th in the 52. And then to round out the top 15, MP number 15, the throwback paint scheme winner, the 48 of Tim Rogers.
In fitting, finishing in 16th behind him is the guy that got into Tim Rogers, the 18 car of Devin McDonald. Finishing 17th, the 38 of Dave Payne. 18th goes to the 45 of Andrew Hardings. 19th to the 3 car Mike McCaskill. And then to round out your top 20, the last car in the lead lap was Jeffrey Reed in the 65.
Picking up from there is the 21st finisher, that is the 2 of John DeMeester. Daryl Dillon in the 7 will finish 22nd. 23rd going to Hayden Swank in the 35. And then it is Dylan Winters in the 008 machine finishing in 24th. And that's rounding out our field. So a very stout field of 24 street stocks. Carson, take the green flag, and still 20 of them finish on the lead lap, even with that long green flag run. I mean, incredible stuff. We heard it from many people. I mean, incredible racing, incredible finish. I mean, it was definitely a awesome race to be a part of here tonight.
Yeah, Brett, what more could you ask for? This was a staple race for the league. Like I said, this finish won't be forgotten anytime soon. Most of these guys were racy for the majority of the race. Just Hayden Swank, obviously, he had to claim that wreck at the end, and Dylan Winters was in a wreck. So those two guys had unfortunate ends, but everyone else, even if they were in incidents, they survived it. And the last man standing at the end of it is Zach Nichols.
Yeah, that he is, the big victor out of tonight in an action-packed race. And then here, folks, you won't want to miss it. Still have an action-packed race schedule left here with the American Sim Racing Club Race 1 Wrap Street Stock Series, as next week we head to the biggest track on the schedule. We head to Nashville Super Speedway. Oh, actually, it's Nashville Fairgrounds. I thought we were heading to Nashville Super Speedway, Carson. I guess it's Nashville Fairgrounds, so we'll take these cars there, and that should be a fun race there. These cars slipping and sliding, and definitely a 2-lane track. Then we head to the Bull Ring of Las Vegas, and then finishing out at North Wilkesboro Speedway. So some great racetracks left. 3 races left, but Zach Nichols sitting in a pretty good spot, especially after a win here tonight.
Yeah, Brett, like you said, that's super close finish, one of the best ever, and he was able to get it done. I'm sure in points he's probably leading at least top 3, so that'll be huge for that cause. And also with the multi-series championship, I'm sure he's contending for that as well. So
Yep, that he is, contending and leading that. So a great night overall for pretty much most people involved in the race here tonight. I'm sure a few hurt feelings, but overall great racing. So I think that will do it. Carson, any last words or anything else you want to bring up?
Yeah, even bigger for the cause for Zach Nichols. This race is really going to stand out as one that might determine the championship, because none of the contenders really had that great of finishes there who are behind them.
Yeah, so that definitely helps his cause in a big way. Also, this win tonight ties Zach Nichols with the 4th most wins here at ASRC, putting him on the same level of Tanner Tallarico. Little extra fun fact.
Yeah, Tanner should be out here. Come on.
Yeah, instead he's up in the booth making sure that these guys behave, which is definitely needed here in a short track league. But I think that would do it. So first and foremost, got to thank you, Carson, for coming on board, being back. It's glad to feel whole again with the Boosted Brothers broadcast. Carson, thanks again for jumping on in here tonight with me.
Yeah, Brad, it was fun getting back in the swing of it, getting back in the booth, trying to wake myself up for this. So it was fun. The finish got me going again, but I think it's ready. I think it's nap time for me. Bedtime.
Yeah, bedtime, because it's a little after 10 now, so definitely bedtime for you. So
for me, it might be a nap. You don't know how I sleep.
Oh boy,
surprise!
Better be a bedtime.
Yeah.
But once again, Carson, thank you for helping and jumping in the booth. Always great to have you. Thanks again to all the live viewers here tuning on in here tonight. Appreciate every single one of you guys tuning on in, whether live viewers or replay viewers. You guys make this thing happen, and you guys have been showing a lot of support to the league and both series, the late model stocks on Tuesdays and the street stocks on Wednesdays on the Turn Through Racing Network. So big shout out to you guys. And then, of course, we got to thank some of the people that make it happen. So the admin team here at ASRC, all the drivers that come on out and put on the show for us to enjoy. Big shout out to all of you guys. And of course, this series sponsors that help on out. The big one being our title sponsor of the Street Stocks, race1wraps.com. You can like them on Facebook at Race1. They have a lot of great products, as you can see on the screen. And then, of course, other associate sponsors, title sponsor for Tuesday night, Postma Flooring. And then other associate sponsors, LaPlante Racing Products and Boardwalk Subs. So I've been Brett the Jet in the booth with Turn 3 Racing Network. Turn 3 Racing Network is partnered up with Premier Setup, so there's a link in the description. There's actually a couple. There's some cool ones down there as well. I should mention that. So first link you'll see will take you to Race 1. That will take you right to their page. Then below that, some links to some drivers that live stream. So I believe right now there's at least 4 drivers that live stream each and every ASRC race. You can find their YouTube pages in the description if you want to see an incident, see a replay, see their reaction maybe. You can check that out with the links in the description. And then, of course, that final link down there is partnered up with Turn 3 Racing Network. That is Premier Setup Shops. If you're looking for some speed, a wrap, anything else that they could offer, you know, even one-on-one coaching, they also offer that. You can check all that out with that link in the description. If you do click that link, it would be greatly appreciated because they support us, and that can be the way that we can show our support to them. So once again, that will do it here for Southern National race number 9 in the books, ending in fireworks, one of the closest finishes ever here at ASRC. So everyone, take care, stay safe. Hopefully you guys are all good with the storms rolling on through, but we will catch you in 1 week's time for Nashville Fairgrounds. So we will see you guys then. I've been Brett the Jet in the booth, and I just flew by you. Have a good one.
Have a good night, everyone. I know I will.